Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is Joe Noirlander again. For this video, I would like to do a little bit more introduction to me and my YouTube page. You may notice certain things on my YouTube page that may stand out. One of them is being my watermark that's on my videos. That watermark is what I like to call my seal and my insignia. Growing up, one of the things that I loved more than anything were knights. Knights were my favorite subject. I love the history of knights and the nobility of it. And you could say that I gained my fondness and fascination and curiosity about knights from one of my favorite movies growing up, known as Dragonheart. Now, in Dragonheart, there's a knight called Bowen, and Bowen lived by, as the movie calls it, the old code. A code that was said to be written and shared by King Arthur himself in this movie. And hearing that code truly inspired me. Just pretty much anything about this movie inspired me. Dragonheart is one of my most inspirational fantasy stories out there. It really sparked a lot of my interest. It has sparked a lot of my desires. Sparked my interest in dragons, sparked my interest in knights, sparked my interest in the realm of fantasy itself. Well, going back to the knights, because of this fascination with Bowen growing up, I wanted to learn more about knights and to discover that knights come from nobility. And each and every knight had a family crest, a family seal, or a family flag, something that made them stand out and unique. That way you knew where they came from and what origin, what was their origin story, and what was their history, and what was their ancestry. Now, me being a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I found it so fascinating to learn about my family history and family lineage. So I went back to the Noorlander line to try to see if we had a family crest and a family seal. And I was very disappointed growing up to learn that, as far as I know, there is no Noirlandia family seal or family crest. So, starting as a kid, a teenager, I started working on and developing my own family crest, figuring it could start with me, that I could create my own family crest, my own family seal. And so I started working hard and trying to think what are the elements that I want to share? What are the elements that I want in this family crest? Because everything has a meaning. That's one thing that you will learn about me and grow to know about me is one of the things that I love is symbolism. Symbolism and metaphors. And everything that you read from me will always be rooted with history, symbolism, metaphor, myths, legends, etc., etc. And so my family still had to have all these characteristics as well. Something that my children could be proud of, something that, again, when I start printing my books and start having all my works in one collection, I have my stamp on it, if you will. And the the watermark that you see on my YouTube is the latest of my attempt to create my own family crest, my own family seal, something that I can put on my books and anything that I approve of, anything that I adore and that I love will carry and hold my family crest on it. The one that I invented and created for myself and for my family. And like I said, if you look at my watermark and stuff, you will see a lot of symbolisms. One of the symbolisms that you'll see is the uh, sorry, give me a moment. The fleur de lis in the center of it. The fleur de lis comes from me being an Eagle Scout. I grew up loving scouting, and I was an Eagle Scout by the age of 13, and I'm one of the very few Eagle Scouts that I know of that has actually went beyond getting my Eagle and went and got a silver palm. It's one of my proud achievements and one of my proud moments, and I figured I better include that on my family shield. So the Fleur de Lis is to help symbolize my scouting and other stuff. And there's a lot more other symbolisms that you will find in my family crest, and maybe I'll talk about that later on. But I also want to move on to a few other topics and other things that you may notice on my YouTube channel and notice about me in general. One of the things is I'm a creature of habit. I have a certain style of clothes. One of them is my black jacket. I adore my black jacket. Most of the time, you will see me out and about either in my black jacket or especially at special events, I will have my nicer jacket. But if it's during the colder months and autumn, winter especially, and sometimes even during the spring and a little during the summer, you will see me wearing my black jacket. I will always be wearing a black jacket, more than likely, when you see me out and about. Unless it's extremely hot, then I'll probably just be in a normal t-shirt. Another thing that you will notice, especially on my my YouTube profile picture, it's one of the pictures that I gave to my publishers to help promote me and promote my book, is you will see me sometimes wearing this particular pendant. Now, this pendant has great significance and meaning to me and my heart. Like I said, I love symbolism. That's one of the things that you will come to know about me. For those that recognize this pendant, you may recognize it from Squall from Final Fantasy VIII. That was one of my favorite video games growing up. I loved it so much, and this pendant here was actually a gift given to me by my sister. She knew how much I loved Final Fantasy, and she was more than happy to give me this as one of my birthday presents. And so I carry it with me, especially during book signings and book events. Sometimes you may not see me wear it, but I will usually carry it with me because it's to remind me of where my love for fantasy came from. Part of it was from Dragonheart, part of it was from Final Fantasy, and there were a few other things that helped inspire my love for fantasy. But I want to help people, when they look at this pendant, realize that I, like so many other people, have a past that helped shape them to who they are and what they want to do with their lives. And Final Fantasy being one of my favorite video games, not only because it's one of the most amazing graphics during those times, but was because of the storyline behind it. That storyline thrilled me as a kid. I couldn't get enough of it. It too, you could say, helped inspire me to read a little bit better, because that video game you had to read constantly. There was no speech in that video game. There wasn't any, people talking you through the tutorials or anything. You had to read the tutorials. And for me to continue on the game and continue to know the story behind the game, I had to learn how to read so that I can know what was going on and what to do next in the game. So you could say Final Fantasy had another part of me learning and encouraging me to become a better reader, and one day, a better writer. So that's some of the things that you may have. That's some of the things that you have learned from me. That's on my YouTube page. Is you'll see me usually, like I said, in my black jacket, out and about. Every now and then, especially during buying events, you will see me wearing my special Final Fantasy pendant. And now you know a little bit that I adore knights. I love Dragonheart. I also from what you've probably seen in my first vlog, is my writing desk. I have behind me my bookshelf. And my bookshelf has books that I've collected as well as movies that I've collected that help inspire me and help me to become a better writer and pretty much a better man. Because I take all the stuff that I view, read, and watch to heart and learn from the lessons, try to find the symbolism and meaning behind each story. And if it's not a good story or a good movie, in my opinion, you will not find it in my collection. There are so many books and movies out there that I've read that is like, this was not done with real intent. This was not done with heart. I don't even know why you guys even bothered creating this movie or creating this book. And it's a little bitter sting for me personally when I see a book or a movie that I think is just absolute garbage and it's out and about, and it's, as you learn in my first video vlog, that here I am, a struggling writer trying to get my things out there that I've put my heart and my soul, my very heart and being into these creations, and I can't even get one person to look at it. And yet here's this garbage that I'm reading or watching or viewing, and somebody thought, hey, this is a great idea. Let's print it. Let's produce it. Let's show it to the world. It's like, you guys are willing to print this stuff and make this stuff and not my stuff? Like I said, just a little bit of a bitter sting for me. But now that Enchanted Love is doing pretty well, hopefully my other stories will be out there and get a little recognition and a little bit of love. So I think that's going to be it for this video. I want to keep this video a little shorter and sweeter than my other video. So now you got to know a little bit more about me. I love books. I love movies. I love fantasy. My favorite fantasy tales are from Dragonheart and from Final Fantasy VIII. See you again next time.